welcome back to the Carpenters Apprentice. Today we have somebody extraordinary that I met at Gardopia Gardens. The gentleman's name is Mr. Composition, aka Kevin Prince, my friend, somebody extraordinary that we have here today. Sir, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Please take a seat and let's have a conversation. All right, so first things first, why don't you tell folks a little bit more about what you do?
Okay. So I am a hip hop artist, a writer, creator. I have my business, multi-medium company, Dabtro Creations. So it's short for Dabbletro. I dabble in a bunch of different things, travel. I love ancient history. So a lot of places that I travel have some sort of ancient background, like been to Belize to see the Jaguar Temple out there, Mexico to see the pyramids out there, in Japan, shrines and everything out there. So, yeah.
Why do you like seeing these places?
I think that being, a person of color, I think that we're so into our roots as far as just like grained in our DNA. And so it's like a draw, to me. Like I have this crazy theory that the things that you're attracted to and the places that you go has something to do with, like, if you believe in past lives or anything like that. I believe that all of it is tied to that and kind of leading you in these different cycles or events or different things like that for you to learn, what it is that you're supposed to learn or different things like that. But I'm just fascinated with the fact that, these extraordinary things were built like thousands and thousands of years ago, like pyramids. The fact that, that was something that man-made, genius as far as on the outward things. And I feel like we're doing the reverse now. So instead of making pyramids, on the outside, we're kind of making pyramids within as far as getting to know our bodies and minds more and things like that.
Do you think the ancients knew some things that we didn't?
I think that they did, but I think that deep down we know it. I think that we are just very resistant to things that we don't quite understand. I feel like everything that they've dealt with before we're dealing with now, just with different clothes, basically. So I think that with what's on the walls and different things like that, I think even if we didn't know, I think that what's written on the walls and stuff are ways for us to, remember, because the way to reprogram the mind is through trauma, repetition, and symbols. And so a lot of what's on the walls have to deal with symbols, and sometimes it's repetitive, like a pattern.
Doesn't it ever knock you out, though? Because I look at these Egyptologists and stuff and see all the hieroglyphs, and I'm like, man, how do you guys even know what the fuck you're talking about? How do you really know that bird-looking man means, like, freedom,
Yeah, and the thing is that I'm very weary with the Egyptologists, because you don't see too many people that look like us that are, leading the talk, the information, So you have several people that are saying this is what it is, and then they're arguing with other people and saying this is what it is. But I think that we feel, kind of what it is, because human race, they do go on a type of pattern. And so when we look at things like signs and symbols, as far as like a falcon or different things like that, I think that a lot of those had to do with the traits that person, so you would have like the god Ra or Isis or different things like that, and they would have.
Wait a minute, there was a god in Egypt's culture or whatever called Isis?
Yeah, that's where.
Is it a terrorist?
No. That's the thing. A lot of people who are into that was very upset that the terrorist organization did, name it after that Egyptian goddess. That Egyptian goddess is the equivalent to Esther, or same thing with Greek mythology. I can't remember the exact goddess deity, but yeah, it's translated, into several different deities throughout history.
So bringing it back to modern day, so you study all these things, you see all these things with the ancients. I wonder, does that inspire you to want to leave a mark that's similar to what they have left for us?
Yeah, a lot of what I feel, we're able to do. I think that we all have, potential. I don't think that there's no one person that's greater than another person. Everyone has the same 24 hours of the day, whether you're a successful person or not successful person. And they say it's all about what you do with that 24 hours in a day. So me, I think that a lot of what I want to be able to do is just be able to have the ideas or creativities basically out of nothing, just for the sheer, fact that I can, so that's what I want to dive into, the fact that, people are able to do so many extraordinary things, and I want to be able to leave my mark as like someone who has studied, someone who made major contributions, whether to mental health or just different studies in general. So that's definitely what I want to be able to do.
Having that as a long-term goal and as a life goal, really like almost a quest. How do you continue to pursue it in the day-to-day when it can seem almost absurd, to think that large? And I'm right there with you. I don't want you to think that.
No, it's interesting because I think that a lot of people don't realize, like, I watch a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk, and he talks a lot about, the long game, the micro and the macro. And, when the bigger your goals, the longer that it's going to take, because why would you want something that you want to last for a lifetime or lifetimes, generational, to pass down? Why would you expect it to happen overnight? So I look at all of those, and, my biggest thing is patience, and learning that constantly. I'm always realizing that, once I thought that I'm at a particular, understanding of patience, life is just all like, oh no, you haven't even realized yet, so that's a lot of what I'm dealing with, because I've been doing music as far as performing locally and just around the country and stuff since I was 18 as a part-time musician. So I was working full-time, I was going to school full-time, and then I would still go to shows and different things like that. But I left my job last March, and so it's a whole different ballgame when you're working full-time for yourself, because you can fall back on the comfortability of not going as hard because you have that security. When you work for yourself, it's just all like, oh no, it gets real. And if you really want it, you got to be able to hold your breath and continue to keep on going for it, But I see so many people who are my age that actually was able to make leaps and bounds. And the one thing that I noticed is just how hard they work. Like when you think about, working hard, you don't think, to practice a particular skill for 10 hours a day type of hard. And that's the type of stuff that I see people who are successful do, like on a daily, and it's something that they love. So, it would be like someone who plays video games for 10 hours. You lose track of time. So I think that a lot of people want to dive deep into those things that make them feel like that.
Man, that's fantastic. That's remarkable. I'm sitting here talking to you, and you're dropping like jam after jam after jam, and I'm getting fucked up. And so, my friend, how can folks get a hold of you? Are there any things that you want to make sure you let folks know about?
Yeah, I have my first work of fiction, Ideas of Illusion. It's a psychological thriller that takes place in San Antonio in the year 2025. And you can get that on Amazon or my website, dapshow.com, because it goes directly to me. So dapshow.com would be the best place. And you can get my music there. You can hear it on Spotify as well. It's mr.composition, mr.composition. And yeah, dapshow.com will have all the videos, docuseries, vlogs, and everything there.
That's fantastic. And this gentleman is an extraordinary act. If you have the opportunity to watch him sometime, you really ought to take the time to do it. I saw him perform that time at Gardopia, and I was so taken that, of course, we had to have him on the show. These are his CDs. As you can see, they look very beautiful. One of the coolest things to me is that he is doing his own books. I mean, spreading ideas like this through this kind of medium, that shit's tough. So I really respect you, sir. Thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it very much. And for you guys, see you next time.